want to see. So what happened was the fire kept burning, and if it had been put out in the beginning, this probably wouldn't have carried any weight.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, every week or so we see massive Chinese manufacturing facilities go up in smoke.
Yes.
And they get burned down on purpose because of withheld wages. The Chinese economy is doing so bad that they can't pay people. But what happened with this one, because it burned so long and it was so prolific, it actually kind of spread outside of Sichuan. Usually China can go in there and shut down keywords. They can shut down images. They can shut down videos. They can make sure the stuff doesn't spread.
Yes.
This one managed to get out.
Yes, and it's specifically the amount he was owed, the 800 yuan.
It stuck with people.
Yeah, people started to hear he was owed 800 yuan in wages, and it drove him to do this. And it really struck a chord with people because so many people
Everyone's
in China
dealing
right
with it.
now.
Everyone's dealing with it.
Everyone is like middling. Like if you got a middle of the level factory job, you've got arrears on your wages. You're owed money by your boss. People have been working overtime for free. People doing all sorts.
It's why you see China doing so much counter propaganda right now to say how amazing everything is. Because right now, I want to read you some of these comments.
Please do.
From these people that saw this story.
Yeah, one thing before you do, I just wanted to say that people are now making these like posters, these inspirational things, because they're saying like, it's almost like a powder keg. The spark has been lit, and people are saying like, this guy's a hero. They're calling him a hero for doing this.
Yes.
You want to read the comments?
Yes. This is the anger of the people. Workers' anger. People's hero. These are all different.
Yeah.
The people of the power is bright. This brother fulfilled the anger in many people's hearts. Salute. This is, by the way...
That's not what the Chinese government wants.
Oh my gosh, no.
They don't want this they don't want pictures like this going around.
No. He is the symbol of the awakened fearless. Burn yourself to light up others. This young man is really brave and worth learning from. These are normal people that would never say anything like this, but they felt so much inspiration that this guy caused so much damage that lasted 3 days for such a petty amount of money, what seemed seemingly petty amount of money.
Yeah.
That they were like, that's like me. This isn't some esoterical thing that I read in a book. This is a real event that I saw with my own eyes. CCP couldn't shut it down fast enough to get the footage. The footage was getting out there with the story.
Yeah.
And now people are writing, I only care about how the hero is doing. Not the subtext is not the local.
They don't care about
police,
the
kind of
they don't care about the company or the factory.
This boss will finally understand how it feels to lose 800 yuan.
Yeah.
Well done. This is how you deal with a shady. I'm not. This is the quotes. By the way.
Yes.
Not
Of course.
I don't champion any of this behavior.
Of course.
Although the factory was beaten, the boss actually saved 800 yuan in wages, saying in the end he
still managed to save 800 yuan.
He bullies the workers. He's used to it. Let's teach him a lesson. The boss finally understands how it feels to lose 800 yuan, right? It's a vivid and realistic lesson for people who owe wages. I want to send this video to my boss.
Wow.
With a salary of 800 yuan, the boss went bankrupt, meaning like the consequences were devastating, right? The worker wanted to test the boss and learn a lesson. This should be a lesson for factory owners across the country. Netizens also believe that life is just too difficult for people at the bottom of society. So this turned in from like, screw that factory boss, to, wait a minute, life for all of us sucks.
Yeah.
And the bottom of society means like 600 million people in China.
Yeah.
Right? Like
absolutely.
a huge chunk of the country.
A huge amount of people.
So this became even more inspirational, and people started to use this imagery and these memes and this stuff that was all wiped, by the way, to light a fire, for lack of better words, for all lower class people in China. Remember, 600 million of them, right? 800 yuan is just the price of a bottle of wine for the boss, but it's the bottom line for us bottom level workers. There's just so many of these. I could go on forever.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the police have now, I think yesterday or today even, released an official statement to say that the 800 yuan thing is a false rumor.
Yes, which is, wait till you see what they said is the truth.
Okay.
And you'll see,
So what did they say? You've got it there, right? Please read it.
I'll have to pull it up.
It's too small to...
It's very, very small.
To read up there,
I'll pull it up and I'll read it. It is
excellent.
tiny text. So they released...
They're on damage control right now because this rumor over the 800 yuan thing spread so wide and it's inspiring so many people. So what did they say?
It says on May 20th, an arson case occurred in Pingshan County. After the incident, the public security organs quickly launched an investigation.
Of course.
And have now preliminarily ascertained the relevant circumstances of the case. Wait till you hear this.
Okay.
Criminal suspect Wen, 27 years old, male, has been pessimistic and autistic since childhood.
Okay.
Okay? Due to family circumstances and dropping out of high school. After dropping out of school, he went with his parents or worked alone. He returned to his hometown during Spring Festival this year. He was introduced to a textile factory in Pingshan County and worked as a general worker. The contract stipulated a 3-month probation period, and the previous month's salary would be paid on the 25th of each month. On April 25th, the textile factory paid Wen 4,158 yuan in March's wages. On April 30th, Wen submitted a resignation application to his supervisor Huang. On May 15th, after completing resignation procedures and settling the remaining 5,370 yuan in wages, I'm going to continue here.
Sure.
This is where it gets juicy.
Okay.
Where it gets nonsense.
Okay.
Wen immediately asked for on-site payment of wages. Taking into account Wen's actual situation, the financial handling staff agreed to pay in advance and then followed the approval process as required. They can do nothing wrong.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
On May 15th, after Wen returned home, he contacted his supervisor again to request payment of wages, but failed. And then had the idea of revenge. Do you notice how they're protecting the factory owners? Do you know why?
Well, I think something maybe have been lost in translation a bit. So they said they arranged the money. Doesn't mean they paid him.
No.
They agreed to pay him the money, but they needed to go through a process or something.
Well, the reason the CCP is taking the side of the factory owners is because China is not a communist country. China is an authoritarian fascist state.
Yes.
And what you get is you get rich factory owners, true capitalists, that are aligned with and sometimes are the CCP officials. Yeah. So China has this like China bit, like all the leftists love China because the extreme leftists love China because they like take care of their own and they have socialist principles. No. The workers are the bottom rung of society. The CCP officials are in cahoots and sometimes are the factory owners and the landlords and all these other people that you're supposed to hate as a radical leftist, right?
Yes.
And then the ultra right wing people love China because they have like a control on things. They have things like they rule things with a tight fist, right?
Yeah, they'll rule you with a tight fist too.
They sure will.
That's a problem.
On the morning of May 20th, Wen arrived at the textile factory by car and entered workshops 2 and 3 and began to set fire to them. He then stabbed financial staff member Lele with a knife.
I mean, this is presumably the person who kept refusing to give him the money.
Yes. The criminal suspect, Wen, was controlled on the spot when the case occurred. Okay. According to his confession, he resigned because of beep and was disgusted with the world. We'll just say something you can't talk about on YouTube. Yeah. Which literally doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the S word.
Yes, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Right.
So after he was caught and beat up by the police
tortured,
in the tiger chair, he said like, "Oh, I was feeling like I wanted to beep, and I was disgusted with the world." Right. Yes.
He was eager to get a salary to his mother, and then beep. After he wanted to beep after.
So he wanted to get his salary, and then beep.
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah.
Don't do this. No, can I do this?
Anything.
This? I'm just doing the cross.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because his wishes were not met in time.
Yep.
He had the idea of breaking the jar and beep by taking revenge.
Okay.
Okay. Last part of this statement. See how rushed this is?
Yes.
They're panicking.
They're panicking. They have to get it out.
When he was arrested, Wen has been arrested by the procuratorate, according to the law, and the case is under further investigation. Lei is receiving treatment and is not in danger of death.
So he didn't kill the person who he stabbed.
No. The online rumor that the textile factory withheld and owed 800 yuan in wages is not true. That's in the police statement.
Yes, the police statement. Please do not believe the rumors.
This is the telling part.
And this is the public security organs will deal with the rumor makers seriously according to the law.
Is that not the most telling part? I'm sorry that took so long, but I wanted to build up to that.
Yeah.
the real thing here.
Yeah.
The most, what do they say? Like in a speech, the most important thing you say at the end, right? Your final statement.
Yeah, the moral of the story.
The moral of the story here is nothing to do with this guy.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the rights of workers.
Yep.
It has to do with don't talk about stuff you're not allowed to talk
Yes,
about.
don't talk about this 800 yuan wage thing. Otherwise, you're going to be seriously dealt with, and they will. They'll disappear you. They will arrest you. You know.
I genuinely think that this police statement was the worst thing they could have done in this.
Yeah.
Because no one in China reading this is going to believe this.
Well, first of all, why would he want to, get his wages to his mom and then,
and then do the thing.
Do the thing. That's like, everything is wrong about this. He contacted them so many times to get his money. They refused to give him his money, so he went to go and do this arson. And if they were not withholding his money, he wouldn't have done it. Okay? So they've already debunked their whole argument that he wasn't owed.
In their statement.
Of course he was owed. That's why he went there.
Yes.
That's why he set it on fire. And of course, like you said, the most important message they're trying to put out here is don't spread